Hey, what's up, Reefers? Just dropped off mom for work, and on the way back to home, I'm gonna swing by a Reefer's place. This local Reefer is breaking down his tank, so he got some excellent deals on some of the larger pieces of coral colonies that he got. What an adventure. Made it back home, lost my wallet along the way. Absolutely could not find it anywhere. It makes no sense. It is what it is. We're gonna move on. We have the coral safe and sound here, at least I hope so. And we got some chunks right here. All right, a little closer look. We got a small piece of the red Monty cat that broke off, a couple heads of hammer or frog spawn. The main event are these two Acan colonies right here. That's the rainbow, and that's a really nice red. That's what I'm really excited about, especially because it's already like grown into this column rock. The main concern is finding place for these two pieces, and I really want to build out the top portion. I always wanted a column, and that should fit perfectly. Yeah, don't come here. So we're about to get some food. What I'm gonna do is just go ahead and put these corals in the tank first. And here's this really chunky piece of column rock. It's gonna go beautiful. Can't believe I lost my wallet. What the heck?
3 days later.
All right, guys, and here it is, the second box of corals from this week from a local reefer who's breaking down a system. I don't know why he's so happy, but good for you, kid. Good for you. Let's go ahead and open this guy up. Nicely packed. Thank you, Donald. All right, what's going on here? Oh my lord, that is a big chunk of coral. Are you serious? I was not expecting it to be this big. Holy smokes, guys. I just have to comment on how large this piece of rock is. This rock is covered by Zoas. I think these are the eagle-eyed Zoas, as well as Acanthastrea. I think that's how it's pronounced. And we got some zinnias and some Superman mushroom on the other side, but this whole chunk, 50 bucks. Did not expect it to be this huge. I also picked up a 6 or 7 heads hammer right here. I think it's like $35. So fantastic deal. Thank you, Donald from Zoas, for this absolutely amazing deal. He was tearing down one of his system and just selling the corals off of really affordable rates, and I was lucky enough to pick up these two chunks. I'm having trouble trying to place them. I think the place that probably makes the most sense is probably here, actually. This place could work. So let me go ahead and do that first. But the only issue is that this is a high flow area, so hopefully the Zoas will be okay. They should be okay. Once again, trusty yellow gloves. The size of this rock, completely encrusted.
The next day.
Huh, one interesting observation. You guys remember on this cluster of Zoas, there's actually a lot of baby Aptasias right underneath the Zoas, right? To the point where some of the Zoas not opening because they're being stung by the Aptasia. Look at this. The Zoa actually became so strong that they are covering the Aptasias. You see underneath the dragon eye Zoas, there's actually Aptasia peeking out, but the Zoa is actually opening up above the Aptasia. It doesn't seem too bothered by it. So this is really interesting. Maybe there's enough good stuff in the water, or the Zoa is healthy enough that they're actually somehow fighting off the Aptasia sting. And this is the huge Zoa rock that is slowly opening up. We got this guy yesterday, so it's only been in the tank for 1 day, and it's already seems. Oh, whoa! Peppermint shrimp. I did not know I still got these guys. All 3 of them, in fact. That's a nice surprise. So I just fed some sustainable aquatic pellets food, and this is actually the first time I see the peppermint shrimp out. All 3 of them. Now, if only these guys will start eating the Aptasia, that'd be fantastic. Hey, look at this. It's one of the ammo crab, and the fact that she's all the way out just in the mid of the sand bed probably means she's pretty hungry. Really happy to report that the emerald crabs from Reef Cleaners really worked in terms of eating bubble algae, and so far they've been leaving my corals alone, except for that rogue red one that just took out 2 of the hammer corals heads the first night. But beyond that, really happy with them.
2 days later.
All right, Reefers, it has been about 5 days since I brought the Acans home, and about 4 days since I brought the Zoas and the hammers home. And of course, we also got this colony of hammer as well. Zoas is all opened up. Interesting thing about these ones, though, is that if you look at the center, it's straight up orange, right? Versus these guys right here has like a dark center disc. So I'm not sure which one is like legit eagle eyes and what is what. But either way, they look really cool. On the same rock, we also have a really nice colony of Acanthastrea. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. They look absolutely gorgeous with this like nice minty green, as well as the hot pink polyp. And of course, we also got good old Xenia on this rock as well. The Xenia may present an issue as they start growing in and competing for space with the Zoas. So I definitely want to remove the zinnias. Instead of trying to scrape the zinnia off right now, because some of them are like really tiny pieces, my plan is to let them grow out a little bit first. So when I go in with the tongue to try to get them, it'll be much easier to grab the stalk and just rip the whole thing off. That is kind of like my preferred way of removing zinnia. I've been having a lot of good luck with it, so I'm just gonna give it some time to grow out and then I'll remove them. One nice bonus is that we actually found these really cool Superman mushrooms at the bottom of the rock when he actually pulled them out. So I'm like, oh, nice, I will take them. You may be curious about this little fish right here. So this is a pearly jawfish. So this pearly jawfish is one of the quote-unquote more affordable jawfish. The better known jawfish is the blue spotted jawfish, which run for like 120 to 150 bucks. This pearly jawfish, usually a lot cheaper, usually runs between like $30 or $35, and I actually got this guy from surprise, PetCo.
Flashback.
Oh, look at this little guy. Finally found a pearly jawfish that's not a giant. I like little fish. This guy is about 1.5 to 2 inches, perfect size, beautiful iridescent blue coloration. Looks really active. Nice yellow head. I think this is the one. Been looking for one for so long. All right, here we go. Getting some help getting the jawfish out, and we'll bring him home.
There you go. I didn't want to give you all that gravel.
All good, all good. Shout out to the PetCo at Congressional Plaza. It's quite nice actually compared to some of the other PetCo I've been to. So PetCos are not all built the same. Hi. We floated the bag for about half an hour already, so temperature wise the pearly jawfish is ready to go. Next up, I'm gonna add some water from the tank to the bag. I'm gonna do this like 3 rounds. So each time I'm gonna replace some of the bag water with tank water. Once that's done, I'm actually gonna do the safety stop treatment on this fish because again, I do not have a QT setup. At some point I really should set one up, but at the moment I do not. So until then, the safety stop water acclimation dip has really been a nice compromise for someone who has not have a QT setup. Fish out of water.
Yay! Whoa!
Cool little fish, huh? I'm gonna try to land him near, maybe that's a good spot right there for him, I think. Oh, that spot, what do you think? There or there?
He will pick. Why are you forcing him?
Maybe there?
Maybe the top of the mountain.
No, he likes to dig a little burrow underneath it.
What about go there?
No, that's like Gang of New York right there.
Exactly.
This is like Solo right here. Look at how beautiful the fin is. You see the color?
No.
All right, let's just put him right here. Let's stay
It's
far
yellow.
away.
It's not blue at all.
Let's stay far away. I just casually swim out. Beautiful, beautiful. No, not no. Don't go near the anemone.
Fine.
Yeah, I hope not.
We got some rice right here. Nice step. Oh my god.
End of flashback.
So while I was picking up this rock, I also picked up a really nice branching hammer that I kind of put in the back to acclimate. And I place it in the back because I have really low flow back there, and then it's kind of like partially shaded. So the coral will have a chance to kind of de-stress and get acclimated to the tank before I place it in a higher flow area. Now, it actually seems to fit in pretty well with the other hammer colony I have back there. If it does really well back there, maybe I just leave it back there and just start the Ophelia garden in the back. So speaking of euphyllias and hammer corals, this is actually the other one that I picked up from 5 days ago. This is amazing looking toxic green hammer. I'm just picking up the name, by the way. It's straight up green hammer. I want to give this green leather a couple days to open up because it looked absolutely beautiful, but usually as what leather does is that they'll close up for a couple days before it shed off the mucus and open up again. So we're gonna give this coral a couple days to see if it opens up, so I can kind of talk about the acans, the leather, and the awesome hammer coral all together since I got them from the same Wildman's member.
3 days later.
Alright reefers, it's Saturday night, one more day until the upload of this video. Unfortunately the leather has not opened up before Sunday, but as you see it developed a shiny mucus, and that is the mucus that is going to shed really shortly, and after that awesome green polyp is going to show up again. It's going to look beautiful. So if I have to guess, maybe next video or the next video, I think the polyp should be back out. And again, this is just what leather coral does sometimes to shed microalgae is growing on the surface. Over here we see that the Zoa patch is still doing really well. Some of them are semi-closed because the peppermint shrimp actually ventured out and kind of looked for food because I was feeding the tank a little bit. One really interesting observation is that I used to have a aptasia right there. It's gone. I also noticed a couple of the baby Acanthastreas actually disappeared from this rock. We still have 2 or 3 on here, but some of the smaller ones, that's definitely disappeared. So the next Acanthastrea I'm keeping an eye out on is this guy right here. It's really easy to spot. So if this guy also disappeared, then something in this tank is absolutely eating the Acanthastreas. And my money is either on the peppermint shrimps or on the blenny. To be honest, I think it's probably the peppermint shrimp because they've been pretty reactive towards food these days now that they've re-emerged. The blenny, only when I drop the prime reef flakes will it come out and try to go after the food. Otherwise, I usually do not even see that guy. I'm surprised at how cryptic the Molly Miller blenny actually is. This hammer is actually quite interesting. Just look at the tip of each of the tentacles. It's not like the normal hammer that I'm used to. It's just a lot more intricate. I really like the look. Acan seems to be really happy. Tentacles always seems to be out, especially when I feed the tank. They just kind of invert themselves and ready to grab food, and they are a joy to feed. Another really cool coral is actually the branching GSP that I picked up a couple weeks ago from Lynn. It actually encrusted really quickly on this rock right here, so I can't wait for it to really grow in. And you'll see that I actually isolated the GSP to these pieces of rock right here because I know they spread really fast, and I need to have a way to control them. Same thing over here. They're all on kind of like individual pieces of rock that I can easily lift. So I just gotta keep an eye on them. As soon as they start spreading onto the rest of the rock work, I just remove the rock and trade it or whatnot. As long as I keep the GSP under control, they are fantastic, easy to keep, and really beautiful corals. In fact, they're one of the brightest coral I have in this tank at the moment. And all these fish are like cluster over here because usually I feed my fish from here whenever I menu feed, and they are like just waiting for handouts. Our fish getting bolder by the day, and now you just often just hover right in front of his burrow. I think like later on it's gonna get even higher in the water column. Can't wait for that to happen. SPS continues to color up. That's that piece, that piece, that piece, that piece right there, which is probably easier to see from the side. That's that little guy right there. So I'm actually thinking about moving that MP40 to that side as well to kind of point them directly to the SPS in the back, because this one is kind of like middle of the tank. I need some flow in the back. Originally I have it in the back of the tank and push it forward, but in terms of coral placement and stuff like that, it's just a little bit too rough for this colony of a hammer, and I really like where the hammer is situated, so I may end up moving that MP40 to that side and run it in the back of the tank because mostly it's SPS in the back, but we'll see. I'm waiting for the extension cord of the MP40 to arrive. That's when I can really move the whole thing over there, and we'll test out the flow and see what works for this tank's layout.
The next morning.
Good morning, reefers. Right now is Sunday morning. Battery in the camera died last night, and there are certain things I wanted to talk about that I did not get to show you, but I guess that can wait till next week. In the meantime, check this out. Look at the sun coral. As much as I try to train the sun coral to open during the daytime, but usually it's still at night where it just completely opens. In comparison, the fat dendro next to it is not opening as much as the sun coral. Usually fat dendro is like that. And while it comes out to feed, it is not super happy there compared to how it was in the past. So I think the flow may be a little bit too rough for him right there. So I may move the fat dendro to somewhere down here. And here you can actually see all the corals that closed up because again, I just came downstairs, grabbed my camera, I'd be like, oh crap. Let's film the ending of this video. And while we are looking at the tank, I don't see that little piece of Acanthastrea up here anymore, but it could just be hiding because there's no light. I'll keep an eye on it, but it looks like it's gone. Coming down here is actually something that I haven't really showed you guys recently. It's the refugium. Just look at how much the macroalgae has really grown. They have really come in thick and heavy, and all of the different varieties are doing really well. This includes the Chaetomorphus, the grapes, and these red hyes. And you can look at it from the front. It is nice cluster, and this will really help me bring the nitrate and phosphate down, and I can get a little bit more into it as I get into the results of my ICP test, because for the last 4 weeks or so I have actually been dosing trace elements based on the Reef Moonshiner's method, but of course I've not really talked about it yet because I've not really observed the result yet. So I'm waiting to see whether it works one way or another, and then I'll report back. But this is super exciting. It's something I've never done before. And the other thing that I'm currently working on on is actually building out the recirculating CO2 scrubber, and the pipe just arrived. These are the pipe that will fit perfectly in the skimmer cups holes, so I don't have to drill any new holes. Anything that's non-destructive that I could try, I'm all for it. So I got this, I got these guys that will like kind of hold the tube in place from the other end. But again, I'll get more into these guys possibly in the next video or two. So now, if you look outside, the weather here is absolutely gorgeous, and the cherry blossom are just like full bloom. I planted this weeping cherry tree about 10 years ago, and it has grown quite well. Right now, I'm waiting for my coffee to finish, and then I'm gonna buckle down, edit this video together and slap it up in a couple hours. It's funny because like this video is almost real time at this point. It's like, at which point do I just go live stream and just give my tank update that way instead of editing and then uploading, etc, etc. Although I do like the fact that the video could be more concise in terms of how I deliver information to you versus like long drawn out rambling that I tend to go on. I apologize for those. Looks like coffee is done. I'm gonna grab it, sit down, get ready to get started. With that said, if you like this video, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next Sunday at 12:30 p.m. sharp. And this is how my front yard look. Ooh. Check out the cherry blossom.